been telling people since 2015 that this what I've been doing, and that's what I, been more comfortable with. Cause I done did everything. I done did the warehouses. Them was like my second favorite to this, right before this. But then I worked at McDonald's on Manchester and Normandy. I worked at Komodo in Santa Monica. My sister got me that job. I went to college. I worked in the dorm room, the senior dorm rooms. Like, real paying jobs, actual check stubs. So then my last job before I got into the gig work was the warehouse job. But I had plenty before, but I went back and got another one. And I met the guy. Pause. I met the dude at church. Man, I was going to church with my neighbor. I'm doing my music and I'm just trying to figure this independent stuff out and shit. And I'm going to church with my neighbor. She saw me on my spiritual stuff, trying to learn and figure out this stuff. And so she said, "You should go to church with me around the corner." Woo, and I went to church. And then she asked me, what am I into? What am I doing? And I said, I'm looking for a job. I'm looking for some work. And she said, okay. What kind of work do you? I said anything. Like I really don't even care. What kind of? She said, what kind of work are you into though? Like what do you like? I was like, well, before I was doing the warehouse job, so I applied to a couple more of them. And she was like, okay. And she was like, this guy right here, he's a manager at a warehouse. You should link with him. I'm gonna introduce you to him. So she introduced me to the dude at church. So he like, yeah, I work at warehouse. Woo, woo, woo. Okay, you want to work? All right, cool. I'm like, yeah. He like, all right, just take my number, take my information, and I'll send you the information. You can start working this Monday. You can come up there tomorrow. So this is from Sunday. He like, come up there tomorrow. We can go to, you can start working tomorrow. I start working. I met up with him. Met at the warehouse. I'm early, on time, and early. And then he show up like 10, 20 minutes after me, and he like, okay, you already here. All right, that's cool, man. That's what's up. And I already know like the game to the work. Like, the way I look, they expected me to not be on time. They expected me, I'm young, 20, 20, 21, 22, something like that. He expected me to be a young dude that's, be a young dude. But I'm on time, I'm up, I'm early. My homie, it's funny, right? My homie Joshua Respress. He was on my basketball team. We was on the same basketball team in high school. He got a ring too. I was a junior, he was a senior. My boy, like I'm talking about I hang with Josh every day. Like before, after school, like, part of the crew, like boys. And so he graduated a year before me. And then I went to college and I graduated, but we was on that same team. We won high school championship basketball, right? And I go get this new job at the warehouse, and I see my boy Joshua Respress. And I'm like, what up, bro? He like, what up, D? I'm like, man, what's up, man? He like, man, I just had me a daughter. And he showed me his daughter picture. He like, yeah, that's me, man. I gotta get it. I'm out here trying to get it. I'm like, man, same thing. I ain't got no kids right now, but I'm trying to get it. And so we ended up both at the same job right there, at the same spot. And so I'm like, okay, and that's cool because he do content and he do YouTube now too. Like he got a whole platform where he do interviews and he do podcasts and everything. He got a whole podcast. Like, just how our minds think. Like, you independently out there trying to find like the warehouse jobs. Like, you trying to find something different from the norm because you looking at the evidence of the norm. Like, the people in the norm, they still working them jobs, and they be working. Like, I know a lady that was working at McDonald's for 40 years. She started when she was a teenager, and she was still there. She was like 60 years old. She was like, "Yeah, I've been here 40 years." You know what I'm saying? And you just get to use your wisdom off of her story. That's her story. She been there 40 years, so now I'm 20 years old, and I'm working at McDonald's, and I'm like, ooh, do I want to be here 40 years? So you start looking, right? So I started looking the other way. I found a warehouse. Stumbled in there like this. I had other warehouse jobs where I just applied and got into them, but this is how I found this one. See my dude Josh up there. Cool, we working. Boom. So the whole time, right, the dude was a manager, and he got me in there, and he working it, and I'm working with the other people, and they know my name, and I got timesheets, and I got everything. But I'm going to work, and he's telling me to bring the timesheets to him because he's not sure how many hours I did. And I'm like, bro, I started on Monday after the church day. It's not that hard, right?
Right.
It just kind of felt tricky. It was always of like, oh, how many hours you did? And I'm like, oh, bro, I'm calculating them every day. Like, I've been here 8 hours since Monday, every Monday, every day since Monday. And he's like, okay, so we gotta get some time sheets. You got them timestamps? And then he brought some timestamps. So now I'm filling them out. So he's like, how many hours you did? You keeping track, right? And I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, all right, so we gonna start counting them from when we got the timestamps. And I'm like, oh, wait, what? I'm like 2 weeks in working with this guy now, right?
Right.
And now he's like, we gonna start counting the hours from when we got the timestamps. This is 2 weeks in. So you're not about to count my whole 2 weeks. And I was kind of tripping over that. I was not feeling that. I'm young, and I know it's a little weird play going on. I'm just like, I can't pinpoint it yet.
Right.
So I asked the dude, I'm like, just to check his temperature. I'm like, man, I've been working 2 weeks. I ain't got no pay. Like, it's kind of my lunch breaks. I just be chilling through the lunch breaks, reading a book. Like, I ain't really got much. I'm like, let me borrow like $50, and I'll pay you back when I get paid. I'm just trying to see you know, what's the cycle like. So I'm like, I'll pay you back when I get paid. Can I borrow $50? He like, sure. He give me $50. And so that week finished by, and then I was just doing my other thing at home. I went back to the hot bar. I'm 3 weeks in, bro, without getting paid. So I'm doing my thing at home, just trying to make sure I'm hustling. I'm selling my TV. I'm selling anything. And I end up giving him his $50 back. But now I'm just trying to find another way to get some money now because I'm working for this warehouse for 3 weeks and I ain't got paid. And now I'm telling him this when I'm coming into the work the next day. I'm like, bro, I ain't got paid yet. Like, oh, this is like I'm over this. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't even got paid. Like, he like, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You'll get paid. Don't worry about it. So like the next week, so I'm basically like a whole month in, and I get a check. But then it's the same like he said. I got a check from like them 2 weeks where I started. I didn't get the whole month, so I was kind of tight about that. I was like, man, what is this?
Yeah.
And I'm kind of tight. You can see it in my body language. I was just over it. I was just telling him about it. I'm like, man, I've been working here for 4 weeks. I only got $200 some. Like, 2 weeks worth, kind of, and they take taxes out of that. And I'm not feeling it. I'm like, man. So I end up, I don't know how it happened. It's like 10 years ago now. But I end up, he he end up telling me like, oh, it's cool. You don't have to come in next week. The tension start rising, you know. I started as a young hopeless dude when he met me at church, just grateful and thankful to get a job. You know what I mean? Needing a job, needing some money. And now, like within a month, I'm tripping. I'm like, this is weak. Like, I mean, I've been doing all this work. I ain't getting paid. Like, it changed. I can see myself change, but I had a reason. That's just me being in the 9 to 5, and I'm just like, it's just not working. Like, just like just piling for no reason. I'm just like, coming in. I understood it at the same time. That's why it was weird, because it's like I came in hopeless, so it's like this is how you get done when you hopeless type. Like, it's just kind of weird. So I'm on my phone. I'm searching shit. I find DoorDash. I find another one back then called Caviar. I find another one, Lyft, and I sign up for all of them at the same time. So now I'm signed up for DoorDash. I'm signed up for Lyft. I'm signed up for Caviar. I'm signed up for Grubhub. I'm signed up for Postmates. I'm signed up for all of these different apps at one time. They was all on the internet. Like, they was all in the app store. Just, it said independent gig work. Be your own boss. So I'm clicking all of them, downloading all of them. I had another one called Gig Driver, where I used to go pick up. It was just strictly pharmacies. Yeah, it was just strictly pharmacies. So I would go pick up people medicine. Like how you had me go pick up your medicine yesterday. I would literally just go to it was only pharmacies in like Walgreens, wherever they had the medicines. And I was gig driver. I'm still signed up for that one. And I signed up for all of these different delivery apps, all at one time. And I'm just trying to figure it out. I look it up, and then I tell my peoples that I'm around. I'm like, look at this, bro. We just need to find a car. I'm 20, so I already got my license, and I tell my homies, I'm like, we need to find a car. You know how you can just get a ride with people, you ride to the party. Like, we need to find one of those homies to pull up on us right now and get us and just ride around all day how we be doing, but we can make money. So I'm telling my homie, so I take the car, not take the car, but I asked one of my neighbors, so I'm on the east side. I asked one of my neighbors, like, man, let me use your car. I find a way, I got a way to get some money. Man, I take this dude car. He like, yeah, what's up? He got two cars. He got a truck, he got a little Honda. He like, yeah, let's hop in the Honda. Man. And I'm showing him the app too. I'm like, yeah, look, I just gotta go. It's DoorDash at the moment. I'm like, I just gotta go El Pollo Loco right here, pick up this food, drop it off, and then we get paid this $15. It's right around the corner. So he like, all right, let's do it. I hop in the driver's seat, get to the El Pollo Loco. It's a real story. I go tell him I got the order, but by the time I'm in the line, like by the time I get to the front, I'm itching. Like my back is itching, my legs is itching. I'm just like, what the fuck? So I tell him about the order. I'm like, yeah, I got an order for what. And And they like, all right, give us a minute. We gonna prepare the order. I'm like, all right, cool. And I go to the restroom. What? I'll take off all my clothes, butt naked. I take off my shirt. I take off my shirt and wing it out. I take off my sweats, my pants, fling them out. I pull down my box, my drawers, whatever I had on, fling them out. My socks, fling them out. I don't like. I've never felt this before. I don't know what the fuck this is. And I'm looking at my body in the mirror. Like anybody, a dude could just walk in right now, exposed. I'm looking at my body in the mirror like, what the hell? I ain't see nothing, bro. I was just itching. So I take the water and the soap in the in the sink and just start washing my whole body in the arms, back, body, everywhere I was itching, legs everywhere. Start washing. Right, fling my clothes out crazily again. Fling them all the way out. Put my clothes back on. I leave out the bathroom and I go grab the order. Excuse me. So I'm that was weird. I ain't never felt nothing like that before. I go grab the I go grab the order and I walk back outside to go where the car's at. He gone. My first ever DoorDash order. He gone. I'm like I looked other parking lots. I looked around the whole parking lot. Like car is legitly gone. So I'm like, damn. Luckily, the order was like less than 2 miles from the El Pollo Loco, and my house is less than 5 miles from the El Pollo Loco, so we cool. So I just look at the order and I say, all right, cool. I'm not itching no more. I look at the order and it's like 2 blocks away. I walk the order. I walked the order to the destination, to the house. Closed the bag up, tied it up, and I walked all the way there. And it took me a little bit. I kind of jogged a little bit, got there. I was like, oh, sorry for the wait. They was like, oh, no, no, that's cool. Thank you. And I walked back, completed the order. I got $15. So now I didn't put nothing in but this crazy ass mission to do this because I ain't had no car, but I got $15 out, right? So I seen that. Get back to the house. Long story short, get back to the house where my neighbor was. I'm like, man, he like, where you go? I'm like, bro, I went to go get the order, and it took me like 5 or 10 minutes, so they had to finish the order, and then woo. I'm like, man, but I was itching. Well, he's like, yeah, that car got bed bugs in it. He's like, that's why I don't drive it. That's why it just be sitting here. Why didn't he pay you that? I'm like, so now I'm in my head like, wait, what? So this dude knew this car and his other car had bed bugs in it and jumped in with me in the passenger seat and rode with me like it was just fun. Like I'm just like, you can't trust. That's where you learn like these hard stories where you learn like you can't trust nobody, bro. Dudes got them. Oh, they know what's going on in life, and they'll let you figure it out. Like I'm itching now thinking about that. So, bro, he was like, yeah, that car got bed bugs in it. You can't sit in that too long. And I'm just like, what? I'm like, what the fuck this dude just say to me? Like, what did he just say to me? So he like, yeah, I drove off. I didn't know where you went. And I started itching myself too, so I left. And I'm like, what? What? I'm like, what am I around? Yeah, right. I'm on the east side. I'm like, man, this is crazy. So I just walked off, went home. All right, like I damn near took off my clothes before I got in the house and threw them shits in the trash can, and walked in with like shorts on, and took my shorts off when I went to the bathroom, went to the house, took my shorts off and washed up, got in the shower. Like like now that I know, like what the hell. So I washed up again when I got home, but that was the story to that. Like what the hell, like so. But that was my intro to finding like the independent contractor and seeing what it was actually about. Like, oh, I can make money if I can get me a car.
Yeah.
No boss, because the description tells you, it told you all of that when I was downloading it. Like, be your own boss. Like that's how they promoted DoorDash and all this stuff. Like in the description in the App Store, I was just scrolling and found it. It said, "Be your own boss." Cause I'm searching for jobs in the App Store on the iPhone. Real shit. I'm searching for different jobs on the iPhone and found it, and it said, "Be your own boss, independent contractor, deliver at your own time on your own schedule, make your own money." This was back 2015, before they had instant cash out. You had to work the whole week and wait for your money to come on Sunday, just like a regular job. So I had to do everything from Monday through Sunday and wait from after Sunday for it to cash out, for it to come to Tuesday. So you had to do a whole week of work to even get any kind of pay. And then a year later, they start upgrading fast. A year later, it came with InstaPay, where it's like, oh, upgrade. Now you can instantly cash out. But I started where it was just, you had to work the whole week until you got paid on the deposit. You just had to wait for a deposit. So that was my experience on starting to get work, coming from that warehouse situation where I wasn't getting paid like that. And this was instantly better. I'm like, oh yeah, I could do this on my own time. Now I just gotta get me a car.
Right.
You know, I'm searching on the App Store. Remember, I told you I found all these different apps at the same time. I got Lyft downloaded. So now I install it and I sign up and I do the full thing. And then they have a Lyft program where they said, oh, Lyft program, we'll give you a rental car to start doing the Lyft deliveries. That's what I needed, was a car. So I got all these other jobs, Instacart, DoorDash, Grubhub, Postmates, at the time, Caviar. I got all these other ones, right? And then I find Lyft, which gonna offer me a car, but I gotta work for Lyft too.
Mhm.
Sign up for Lyft, and everything just started. Like you start getting blessed. I signed up when I was like 20 years old. I didn't even read the full requirements and know that I was supposed to be 21 years old, 21 and older, and then I was supposed to be 25 and older to get like certain cars. I started when I was 20, and I went and I signed up. And I didn't see none of that, and I walked in and I said, "Yeah, I'm trying to start the Lyft program." The dude pulled me to the side. He said, "Hey, bro, how old are you?" I said, "I'm 20." He said, "You know you're supposed to be 21 and older, right?" And I was like, "Nah." But I went through the whole orientation.
Mhm.
I went through the sign up online with my real age, the orientation, and then I did the in person orientation. Brought my ID, everything, and I made everything, passed everything. And at the end, he said, "Bro, how old are you?" I said, 20. He said, "You know you're not supposed to do this till you 21 and older." He said, I ain't even supposed to be doing this till you 21 older." But I had already did everything. And I was about to drive off in the rental car. He said, I'm gonna let it go through because it wasn't no flaws in the app. You went through, like, this is just like another, a test to like law of attraction. Like, I did all that shit without knowing I wasn't even eligible to do it. And I went through the whole process and got the rental car and everything. So he was like, boy, you ain't even supposed to be old enough, but it went through, so I'm gonna let you go through. Dude, just make sure you do your thing. But he said when you do come back to renew your thing, make sure you tap in with me. He gave me his personal number. Pause. Said when you come in to make sure I'm working, and if I'm not here, I can send you to somebody and they can do it. So he got me on a low key, like, cause he was like kind of the head of the thing, of the lift rentals,
Oh, okay.
and it was a new program. He was kind of the head of the new program, where they was giving the rentals out to start the lift program,
Right.
delivering for lift. I mean, driving people, dropping them off for lift. So he put me through that. Now I'm under the table working through that, but I'm through the system getting legit money. Like I'm on getting the lift rides. Everything is on. They just didn't catch my age because it was a new program through the iPhones. New. Everything new. So I'm just blessed. I'm just in there, just surfing through there, working my way through there, in there. You know what I'm saying? I would do my lift rides. Now I got a car. I would do my lift rides, and then I would sign on DoorDash and do DoorDash and do food pickup. So now I got two jobs. No overhead boss. I just gotta check in with the rental and make sure it's all clean, you ain't got no accident, everything cool. And then I ain't gotta do nothing with DoorDash. DoorDash is just an extra opportunity. So now I'm just after I do my lift rides, the requirements and stuff, I'm doing the money. I'm getting the money from DoorDash to pay off the rental.
Mhm.
Cause I had to do like 10, like 20 rides for Lyft, mandatory. And then you have to get the money, but you can get them through Lyft rides, and they'll pay off the rental too, for a week. So I would just do the mandatory rides through Lyft, and then I would get the DoorDash money and pay off the rental. So I just knew DoorDash was hitting. I'm like, man, I'll do Postmates. I got Postmates and DoorDash running at the same time. And my mom helped me get the Sentra, $500 down through my homie Kyle. My homie Kyle, he said, man, you need to go to Nissan Bros. They giving people rentals for $500 down. My mom go up there, co-sign me, get me a Sentra, get her Altima. Now I got a car. I'm out of the Lyft program. It worked for me too. It showed me the ropes.
Mhm.
And now I got DoorDash, Postmates, gig work. I got all these jobs through my phone to just pay my car note, pay my insurance, and do my thing. And so essentially what they seeing on YouTube from us, right? They seeing us as independent contractors move through the different ropes where the money is at.
Right.
We not staying still at all. Everybody pretty much got the same story. Like, yeah, I did the warehouses, I did the McDonald's, I did the gig works, I did the jobs, I even did DoorDash, I even did Instacart. And then where you see I'm at, I'm on YouTube now.
Right.
Cause that's the new grind.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
you seeing is the same independent workers that's doing the same thing that you doing, not the 9 to 5. We not fucking with the 9 to 5s. We'll go start a YouTube channel. We'll start 10 YouTube channels before we go get a 9 to 5.
That's true.
That's what you seeing. That's the results of it. You know what I'm saying? We all independent contractors, but we out here because we know you gotta adjust yourself. But it's way more freedom and peace of mind by doing it this way, by the independent contractor grind. So YouTube is the new independent contractor grind that we found, that we believe in. So you just seeing a bunch of people we hear. We came from the DoorDashes, the Instacarts, the 9 to 5s. Ask the YouTube the creators, like, and they'll tell you, like, we got a lot of it's funny, right? We got a lot of work experience. It's funny because my homie back in the day told me, man, you be talking about all this money and all this information, all this, do that, but you ain't really had that many jobs. Like basically trying to discredit like my knowledge to, like where the money is at. And what feels better, the peace of mind and getting the money. And I'm just like, I asked him, I said, so how many jobs you think I had, bro? And he said, like, I know you was working at the warehouse, and I know you worked at McDonald's, but like, you had like 2 jobs.
Right.
So he thought I was talking all of this from only having 2 jobs worth of experience. And I was just saying, fuck the jobs, fuck the corporations, and that ain't it. Off of 2 jobs worth of experience. And I had to break it down to him. I said, bro, I worked at McDonald's. I worked in multiple warehouses, bro. Like, I've signed up for them myself. They call you and ask you, do you want to go to the location? You agree, can you make it? And you go to that location, you work 8 hours. You might, the next day, you might work at one location on Monday, and then Tuesday, you got to call in again, 6 in the morning. Hey, do you guys have available spots? They'll say, hey, yeah, we have one in Linwood. Can you make it? Oh, that's too far. Okay, we have one on Long Beach. Can you make it? Oh, I can go to Long Beach. So you're going to different locations each time. So I've worked in worked multiple locations at the warehouses. So I worked in McDonald's, warehouse. My sister got me a job at Komodo in Santa Monica, right?
Right.
I went to college. These are just the legit jobs, right? And I worked in the senior dorms,
Mhm.
right? And then I come back more because I like the warehouse jobs. So I worked in the warehouse jobs again, and these is for long times. These is for a year or two at a time. These ain't just me there, right?
Right.
So I'm like, I had a lot of experience in different locations. The different locations with the warehouse jobs, that'll give you what you need to know. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're not applicable, if you can't do what they need on the spot at that warehouse location, they'll get rid of you, and they'll tell you no, it's no availability. I've seen other people come start with me at the warehouse, and then they call and they'll tell them it's no availability, and I'll call and they'll tell me, oh yeah, we got a spot for you. You want to go here?
What?
And that just let me know, like, oh, if you wasn't doing your job, if you didn't really want to be there, you wasn't working and clearing out those loads, they marked you on the do not come back list. The manager done, right?
Mhm.
So you get the experience to see, like, okay, if you're useful, they'll make room for you. You'll be featured. If they don't find you as useful, they'll find somebody else. They'll get rid of you fast. So I got this experience and that knowledge from going through all these different works and jobs. Then I've worked in a mosque as like a janitor. You know what I mean? I've sold candy and chips and juices. You know what I'm saying? I've been hustling, selling weed. You know what I'm saying? When I was young, like, so, just different experience. I done sold hoverboards when they came out.
Damn.
I didn't looked up and just searched the internet about real estate, short sales, how people would. I got the information on all of this stuff, bro, just off the top of their head. How people would go to older families, like the target audience that I was watching, that I found the knowledge from, right? For the short sales, they would go to older, elderly people and say, man, you want to sell your home and get a couple bucks from it? You know, you hear lonely, they go target lonely, elderly people and say, man, you hear lonely, you know, you don't have no family. Do you want to sell your home? And they wouldn't even be thinking about it. They'd be like, oh, well, I don't have no family. I don't have no grandkids here. I guess I'll just make some money. So they'll get that information on the paperwork and all of that, and they'll find somebody or the bank to buy it, right?
Right.
And then they'll get paid a commission for doing the sale. So they'll sell it to the bank for 50,000, and they'll take 5,000 out of that or something like that, or 10,000 out of that. You know what I'm saying? And then give the lady 40,000, and then tell her like, oh yeah, and I can help you move into a convalescent home where they'll take care of you in New Orleans, and you have money moving in. Right? That was the YouTubers I was watching. That's the game I got from it. So I was like, okay. So I'm learning all this different game from being an independent contractor and learning and trying to search to find where the money at, how to get some more money. So this is all just, leading up to my experience, leading and growing my knowledge. You wouldn't even have the time to learn this stuff and sit on YouTube and try to find where the money at and search for short sales and search how to make money, how to be independent, how to succeed as an independent contractor. You wouldn't even have the time to search that if you at the 9 to 5 because you too tired when you get off.
Mhm.
That's the thing about the 9 to 5 loop. You working so much at the 9 to 5. When you get off, you gotta recover. When you recover, you gotta wake up and go back to the 9 to 5. So it's no ever time to work on yourself, to work on your personal goals, which you actually want in life, the car you want, the dream house you want. You can never get that time when you working in the 9 to 5 loop. So us independent contractors, we like the freedom over the money. It's freedom, then it's the money, and then our goals, you know, our health, everything. We get to focus on us first. When you got freedom, you get to focus on your health and what you eating and what you drinking and how you feel, how much sleep you getting. And then we go get the money.
Right.
The 9 to 5 loop don't allow you to feel how you want to feel first. You gotta be at the 9 to 5, or we penalizing you for it, or we getting rid of you after so many penalties because, and we getting somebody else. See what I'm saying? So it's just two different life cycles, man. But when you see people on YouTube, we here because this is where the new this is where the new money at. This is where the new thing at, that you can keep your freedom and your peace of mind and your schedule and your life first, and then you can get the money second.